Hi guys. Now normally I don't do a video on some sort of news release, but this is quite a big one really in the electric car world. I thought it warranted it. It's about the Ecotricity's electric highway, which is the company that runs all the rapid charge points at the service stations and IKEAs, the ones that you basically rely on to do longer distances, like the journey I've just done down south and back. Without these rapid charge points, it would not be possible. Anyway, they have always been free since they've been put in, which has been a few years now. And now they're going to start charging for it. We've known that this has been coming for some time. They said that they were going to start charging last year and put it off. And they said early this year they were going to start charging for it. And everyone's just got the email now saying this is what we're doing. So before I go on a bit of a rant, and I will be, I'll tell you what they're doing. What they are going to charge is they're going to do it on a flat fee, and it's going to be £5 for up to 20 minutes. So that basically means that if you plug in for 1 minute, or if you plug in for up to 20 minutes, you get charged £5. It's not based on how much electricity you pull from it. Now I've had to clarify with them because it doesn't say it in the email, but I have rung them up and asked. After 20 minutes the charge point will disconnect, it will stop charging. It won't trip over to the next 20 minutes and charge you another £5. So that's just one thing I wanted to clarify first. After 20 minutes it stops the charge, sends a notification to your phone via the app, and then you stop charging. Someone else presumably can unplug you and carry on. So as far as charge blocking goes, it's a good idea. It's something that a lot of people have been asking for some time really. The problem that I have is that it's now app based. They've launched an app rather than the RFID card that everyone's been using all this time. That will basically become irrelevant. It will stop working by the end of July, start of August. And what it means, and I don't think they've kind of thought this through, is that you have to have an Apple or an Android phone. So if you've got a Windows phone or a BlackBerry, something like that, tough. If you don't have a smartphone, and a lot of elderly people don't, and a lot of elderly people are fans of electric cars. I know quite a few elderly people who own an electric car and they don't have a smartphone. So that basically means the only way they can access this charge point is by ringing up Ecotricity and paying the £5 over the phone, which is fine. Unfortunately, they only open 8:30 till 5:30 Monday to Friday. So basically, if you don't have an Apple or Android phone, you can only access the points during the weekday, during office hours, which I think is a little restricting. Polar, which is another charging network, have a similar system. They have an app, but they also have an RFID card, which I think if you pay an extra tenner they'll send you. So that means if you don't have a data signal or one of these phones, you just use the card. So why Ecotricity haven't put that in this system where you can use the same card that's attached to you to access your account is beyond me. It seems a bit of a development issue, a bit moronic if I have to say. And I just rung them up because there's an IKEA near me. This is another big problem which I've just rung them up about. And it's in like an underground car park is the rapid charger. And I said, right, there is no phone signal at this rapid charge point. It's underground. No one has a phone signal. It's not just my network. No one has a phone signal. How do I access this point once this app goes live? Oh, and their official response was plug the car in and then go up a couple of flights of stairs to where you can get a signal and then start the charge that way. That's their official response. You have to walk either a couple of hundred yards that way, away from the car that you're charging, or go up a couple of flights of stairs. Now this seems a little bit idiotic to me, a bit rushed, a bit like they've not actually thought it through. It just doesn't make sense. So that's the big problem for me, the access of it. It's app based, it's reliant on a data network, on your phone signal. You can't rely on ringing them up to pay over the phone because they only open Monday to Friday, 8:30 till 5:30. So that for me is a bit of a major issue. If your phone's not working, if you've no data signal, you're screwed basically. And they had no answer to that. Now the cost. It's expensive However, you could argue that the charge points are expensive, and you're not just paying for your electric, you're paying for the fact that they're there. Now let's forget that a lot of these points, or some of these points, were paid for kind of using O-level grants and government funding. Ignore all that, because that's probably been sorted out now. The £5 for 20 minutes, and this is another bit of an unfair issue, is that because it's time based, it depends on how much car or how quick your car can draw the electric. A Renault Zoe is slower at rapid charging than a Leaf or a Tesla, which means that it will be more expensive for a Renault Zoe owner than it will be for a Nissan Leaf owner. So that in itself is a little bit unfair. I think like you do with something called petrol, pay per litre, why could they not base it on pay per kilowatt hours that you used? They will probably argue that they did it time based so people don't hog the chargers. The problem with that is that if I was a Mr. Tesla with a huge battery and I plugged it in and it stopped working after 20 minutes, I would just start it charging again and stay another 20 minutes. So I'm not really sure how that's going to play out, to be honest. It's a little unfair on some car owners, so maybe that needs addressing. I don't know. As far as the cost goes to like myself, well, £5 and 20 minutes, even if you were very low, so you could use the quickest charge rate of the battery. You know, once you get to 80% on a Leaf, your charge rate slows down. So even if you did it from 0 to 80%, you're probably only going to only pull 17 kilowatts, 16 kilowatts in that 20 minutes, which means you're looking at 30 odd pence per kilowatt hour for the electric cost, and that's the best case scenario, 30 odd p per kilowatt hour. At home, I'm currently paying, I think, 11.8p, and I'm about to change tariffs onto what is, and it's not economy 7, I think it's just short of 9p, so 8.9p per kilowatt hour, and they're charging a minimum of 35p, say, per kilowatt hour. That'd be more expensive for a Zoe, or if you went past 80% or something like that. So it is very expensive to use. It's not something you're going to use very often, but because it's that much more expensive, it's changing how people are going to think of electric cars all of a sudden. Case in point, I've just done nearly 700 mile round trip, the video's in my channel, and we charged 7 times. That would cost £35 at the current charge rate. Well, actually, it probably cost more because we had to charge to 90% a couple of times from like 7 or 8%. So it would probably be £45. Now, in an eco diesel, which is meant to be really bad and dirty and evil, that would probably, I think we figured it out to about 60 quid, maybe 65. So for an extra £10–15, you might as well just take your other car, or you might as well buy a diesel. Basically, it makes this car now not just cost terms, but in reality a short range car only. If I was going to do that journey again, I would not take this car, because the offset of it taking longer because you have to charge was the fact that we were saving a good amount of money by doing it. You know, it's a bit of it's something you will need to put up with. You know, I'm saving money, but it's taking me longer. Fine, that's the compromise. Now I'm saving a little bit of money, and it's still taking as long. And if there's any data problems, or you don't have the right phone, etc., etc., you're screwed. You can't start the charge. So this now for me has turned into a short range commuting car only. I'm probably not going to use it on any long journeys. Now there is a caveat. If you're an Ecotricity utilities customer, i.e. you get their electric and gas from them, it's free. So you think, brilliant, I'll look into that. I've looked into becoming an Ecotricity utilities customer, and I will be about £450 a year worse off than the current tariff I'm on, even with their discounts, which means I'd have to charge an awful lot to recoup that back. So financially, it makes no sense to do that. It's going to cost more. Now, the only reason people are getting electric cars is because of the ridiculously low running costs. That offsets the cost of the car, which is still quite high. They are expensive cars compared to a little eco diesel or something. So all it's going to do is people that were thinking about getting an electric car are now going to go, there's no point. It's going to cost me, it's going to save me very little, if any, certainly factoring in the initial cost of the car, compared to, I might as well just buy a small Fiesta diesel or something like that, or a Golf diesel or something. It's, you know, for Britain's leading green energy supplier, I think they call themselves, they've just basically made it so most people aren't going to want to get one of these. I mean, people are only bothered about themselves, me included. I bought this because of the money it saves me commuting, etc. Granted, most of my charging's at home, so I'll still be a big advocate of electric cars, but case in point, hello Mr. Razor if you're watching this, but basically I've been talking to a person online who wanted to buy one as a taxi. So that's someone who does a lot of miles, and if they're wanting the country to be green and get electric cars, then they're doing a bad job, because he has now cancelled his order for an electric car, because now this charging's come in, it means it's better for him to buy a small diesel. So Britain's leading green utilities company are basically making people buy petrol/diesel cars more now because of this. Now, a lot of people will be saying, what do you expect, free electric? No, I don't expect free electric. I expect reasonable electric costs. You know, 4 times the amount it costs to charge at home isn't worth it. It's like they've designed it for long range electric cars. If you're in a Tesla, or if you have a range of 250 miles, then you'll only probably have to use one charge point if you do a long distance. So you think, alright, it's only a £5, I'll do that. At the moment though, in any Leaf, any Zoe, any electric car that's currently sold, apart from a Tesla, it's too expensive. It's not the right way of going about it, because people are just going to buy a small diesel, which apparently is really evil and bad. So yeah, that's my problem with it. You can't access the damn thing if you haven't got the right phones or a phone signal. They're never open past office hours, so if there's a problem or you just don't have the phones and whatnot, you're screwed. And it's a very, very expensive way of charging at a rate of, what is it, a minimum of 3-4 times the rate it costs you at home. So yes, I am still a big advocate and fan of electric cars. I wouldn't be owning one without it, but I don't think I'll be using this on long journeys, because it will be cheaper probably for me to take the other car. Certainly far more convenient. So yes, that's my thoughts on the issue. Please let me know in the comments what you think. It's a bit of a divisive issue, but I'm going to predict that things are going to change slightly. I think they're going to slightly alter, maybe not reduce the price, but maybe bring in different price levels. Something's got to change. It's not right. I haven't found a single person who's happy at this. Even as an Ecotricity owner, it's going to be worse than it was before because of the app access issues that I've just mentioned. So there we go. Ecotricity are starting charging. Yay. The way they've done it, nay. So anyway, have fun. Let me know in the comments as before. I'd be interested to know what you think. Certainly if you don't own electric cars, is changing whether you're going to get one or not. 90% of my charging is done at home, so it's not really going to affect me that much, but it means I'm not going to take this car on a long journey. So there you go. Right, bye, thanks for watching, see you later.